One of the first things that we do prior to starting our workout is to make sure that we do foam rolling to lengthen the muscle before we strengthen it. If you can imagine tying 1 or 2 knots in a rubber band and then statically stretching that rubber band, the only thing that we're doing is tightening those knots, making the muscle more susceptible to injury. So what we want to do is, as you're rolling, you want to find that hot spot in your muscle. Find that hot spot and just stay on it. Take a deep breath, exhale, and let it go. All right, that's going to lengthen the muscle, taking the pressure off of the tendons to relieve some of that tendonitis that you may have felt in the past. We're going to start off with the hamstring. Good, now we can move to the IT band. Rolling on the side, again, finding that hot spot, applying pressure to the hot spot, and just letting it go. Then we'll find the quadricep, rolling all the way over, getting the outside of the quad, the middle of the quad, and the inside of the quad. Again, find those hot spots and let it go. Now we're going to get that groin. One leg is at a 90-degree angle, rolling back and forth on the roller. The other leg is straight behind you. You can also foam roll the mid-back and the low back. As you roll up, take a deep breath, let it exhale, and you may feel 1 or 2 adjustments even in your middle back. Really open up your shoulder blades and roll right in between your shoulder blades to hit those rhomboids and traps. Okay, the next phase of our workout is going to be our movement development. This is our teaching opportunity to help teach movement patterns for you guys, okay? First thing I want you to do is take your hands, place them over your shoulders, knees are over your hips, all right? We need your lower abdominals engaged so that you can pull that pelvis up towards your chest. Think of your sternum and your pelvic bone coming close together, pressing your low back into the turf. From there, you're going to extend your right arm and your left leg, maintaining this pelvic tilt. Pull it in. Good. Now opposite. Engage that lower core, bring it up. You're basically utilizing your abdominals now as a pelvic stabilizer rather than a trunk flexor. Here we go. Open up. Tight, tight, tight. Good. Pull it in. Good. And that is the dead bug. Our next exercise is going to be a single leg glute bridge. So what we're going to do is still maintain that same pelvic tilt, right? Pressing your low back into the ground. All right, you're going to bring one knee up into your chest as far as you can, but we're also going to resist here. Resist your knee coming into your chest. And what we're going to do there, and the reason why we're doing that, is to make sure that that hip flexor is turned on so the glute shuts down, okay? From there, we're going to do a single leg glute bridge. So we're extending with the left leg and we're flexing with the right leg and down. Drive it all the way up. Drive flexion with the right leg, extend with the left hip and down. Trying to create that maximizing that hip separation between both legs. Drive it up, squeeze, and down. Drive it up, squeeze, and down. And that is the single leg glute bridge. For our next movement prep drill, we're going to do an active straight leg raise. So we're going to start with both feet down on the ground, okay, pressing the heels into the turf. We're going to raise the right leg all the way up as high as you can. Again, contracting the hip flexor and the quad, releasing the hamstring and the glute, and drop it down. Raise it all the way up. Pull, 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 and down. Good, alternate. All the way up. Keep that knee straight, ankle flexed. And down. One more. All the way up and down. And that is the active straight leg raise. Our next movement prep drill is going to focus on shoulder mobility. So we're going to start with your elbows and hands, wrists touching the turf, and we're going to slide those hands all the way up over your head as high as you can, and then draw them back down as far as you can without losing contact of the turf. All the way up, slide them up, squeeze all the way down and back. Good. All the way up and back. Try to maintain contact with the turf the entire time. That's why we're here, right? All the way up and down. As a progression, we can also take this to the wall, and as long as you maintain that perfect neutral spine, neutral neck, neutral low back, we can do the same exact movement on a wall and pull everything down and back. And that is the floor slide shoulder mobility. Okay, our next movement is called a bird dog, all right? We're gonna have your shoulders over your hands, hips are over your knees. We're gonna extend that right arm and the left leg, maintain that balance, also maintain that neutral spine. We're gonna bring the hand in to touch the knee, also maintaining a neutral spine on that flexion, all the way out. Maintain the stability, drive it back in, hand to knee, and all the way out. And that is the bird dog. Okay, our next drill is gonna be hip circles. We're gonna have that nice, firm, stable pillar. All right, shoulders are over the hands, hips are over the knees, nice flat back, neutral spine. All right, we're gonna do forward hip circles, keeping the low back completely parallel to the turf. Here we go. Forward hip circles, nice, big, round, circular motion. Again, making sure we maintain this perfect posture and that low back stays parallel to the ground. We're just focusing on hip mobility here. Good, and backward. Really focus on that full range of motion. Make every rep better than the last. Squeeze and down. And that is the hip circle. All right, the next movement is going to be the world's greatest stretch, and it earned that name for a reason. All right, you're gonna start off in the same position, right? Shoulders over the hands, hips over the knees. We're gonna take that left leg, that left foot, and place it right next to your left hand. Good. All right, now we're gonna slide this leg back a little bit, keep that knee on the ground, and I want you to focus on dropping the hips towards the turf. Even more, good. All right, from there, if that's not enough stretch for you, we're gonna take that left elbow and drop it to your left instep. All right, that's another progression. All right, and then the last progression is rotating that left hand all the way up to the ceiling, keeping this back glute fired the entire time. We can take this back leg with the knee off of the ground, extend that knee, and drop down. Good. Let's switch it up. Both hands down. Now bring the right foot up to the right hand. Good. Keep that knee down on the ground for now. Drop the hips to the turf. All right. Another progression from here. Drop the elbow to the instep. Maintaining that back glute fired the entire time. Rotate the hand up to the ceiling. Right hand to the ceiling. Straighten out that back leg. Fire the back glute. And drop back down. And that is the world's greatest stretch. Okay, now we're gonna go through our dowel series. All right, we're gonna start with your elbows at a 90-degree angle. You're gonna extend those arms straight up, lock the elbows. As we drop down into a squat, we wanna maintain perfect neutral spine. Hips are dropping down, the dowel stays over the feet, and we stand. Good, try to drop it down. We wanna see that upper leg either parallel or better to the turf. And stand. And that is the dowel squat. Clark is having a difficult time holding the dowel over his feet. We're gonna drive up. Now, as a regression, we're gonna drop that dowel in front, okay? And do the same exact thing. And stand. One more time, drop it all the way down. And stand. And that is a regression for the overhead dowel squat. Okay, our next drill is the overhead split squat. Same thing, elbows at a 90-degree angle. You're gonna extend straight up. All right, nice split squat. We're gonna drop straight down. Keep the dowel over your hips, neutral spine, and drive it up. Drop it all the way down, neutral spine, and drive it up. And that is the overhead split squat. Okay, for our next drill, we're gonna do the lateral dowel squat. We're gonna start off by holding the dowel right in front of you. All right, shoulder height, pull the shoulder blades down and back. Good, set the scaps. Good job. All right, we're gonna drop down to the left, shifting the hips back and counterbalancing that weight with the dowel. All right, and drive it right back up. Notice how the knee never passes the toe and the hips drop back. Drop it back again. And stand. and that is the lateral dowel squat. Okay, our next drill is called the double leg hip hinge. All right, what we're gonna do is use the dowel as a tactile cue to maintain 3 points of contact at the head, the thoracic spine, and the sacrum. All right, we're gonna drop all the way down and back. Hips are gonna shift back. You're gonna transfer the weight to your heels. All right, maintain that perfect neutral spine. You'll feel the stretch in the hamstrings and then come back up. Good, same exact thing. Drop all the way down. Feel that full stretch across the hamstring. Neutral spine all the way through and stand. And that is the double leg hip hinge. Okay, as a progression from the double leg hip hinge, we're gonna do the single leg hip hinge. So what we're gonna start, or how we're gonna start is by planting that left foot firmly into the ground, okay? The hinging access point is right here at the hip. We're gonna drop the hip back and keep that spine in a perfect neutral position. We're gonna extend the arms overhead, drop all the way in. Here we go. Full extension at the arms, perfect neutral spine, good balance and stability, and stand. There's one, let's get one more. Make sure that back toe points straight to the ground, drop in. And stand. And that is the single leg hip hinge. Okay, now that we've completed our muscle lengthening by hitting the foam rolling and trigger point releases, we've hit our movement preparation to teach you guys exactly how to move, what movements are going to be specific to help you through some of these grueling workouts. Now it's time for the action-packed work. I hope you're ready, because we're about to hit it.